Good morning to you. We are following breaking news of two separate freeway shootings just moments apart. The first one happened on the 805 North near Imperial Avenue. This was at about 2:15 this morning.
The other along State Route 94 East near College. Two separate drivers were injured in these shootings. And News 8's Chris Groh is live off the 805 with the very latest. Chris?
Hey, good morning, Eric and Stellan. We're still waiting on more information from California Highway Patrol on the status of these two victims. In both instances, only one driver, no passengers in the victims' vehicles, but they happened, these shootings, minutes apart from each other. So again, CHP taking a look into the potential of really any possibility here in this investigation. Now, I can tell you that the 805 and the 94, that they have been reopened. They were closed for this investigation, but they have been since reopened. Now, this first vehicle, again, this was a woman who was shot in the back. She was actually injured, and again, we saw her being taken away via first responders. The second vehicle, a man also shot in the back, and again, we also did see him put up on a stretcher and taken away via ambulance. Now, again, according to very early information, happened minutes apart from each other, so it does look at least potential that this was the same shooter. But so far, the only information we have on that is that the CHP is looking for a newer model black sedan, possibly a Nissan Altima. It was seen in those areas at the time of both shootings. So again, now you have to look at potentially also a motive and if this is a sense of road rage or completely random. Again, very early on in the morning when this happened, I got to imagine CHP also asking for witnesses to anything that may have happened this morning to potentially come forward as well too. But again, we're still waiting to hear from the California Highway Patrol. The last we heard from them was on the scene, but we are waiting to get an update from them. So be sure to stay tuned with News 8 throughout the morning. Eric and Stella.
Okay, Chris, thank you. I know we're watching this one very closely. Jenny, also taking a look at our roads. How are they looking this morning?
Yeah, so you know, Chris was specifically that northbound 805 at Imperial. You just heard him say everything is back open, but I just want to show you to kind of put it into perspective. Yeah, here it is. So here's that northbound 805 at Imperial. He is absolutely correct. Everything back open. Your travel times here are not an issue, not even any lingering delays or recovery happening. In fact, everything else to the South County is clear, even that 94. Ooh, you saw a little bit of volume there. I know you saw it there, but overall things look okay. Where we do have a little bit of an issue is further north where the 15 is a little slick, okay? So we had some rain come down. We had two crashes at one point, but the one that was northbound at Beethoven, they just cleared that away. So your right-hand shoulder's back open. There are some minimal delays kind of sticking around in that area. The one crash that we still are contending with here is north on the 15 at Gamble Lane. It is off to the right-hand shoulder. You can see we have a little bit of volume there. It's not bad. You're down to, what, 47 miles an hour. You can handle it. Here, though, you can see south on that 15 crossing the 78, we do have some higher volume building at 603. Netta.
Yeah, Jenny mentioned the rain right over the 15, and there it is. You see it here in our satellite imagery where we have some scattered showers coming through, but also the sound of thunder. Yeah, that rumble rolling in right here along our foothills north of Ramona, where reports of lightning strikes as well, coastal thunder and lightning also. So we'll be tracking this throughout the morning, letting you know where some of those wet spots are. It looks like the South Bay, though, nice and dry. Most of this is right there in North County. Stella.
Netta, thank you. Our other top story this morning, the United States' longest war officially over.
The Taliban is now in full control of Afghanistan, and the last U.S. troops have left the country. President Biden will address the nation today about the end of the war. CBS correspondent Bradley Blackburn has more on that and what happens now to the Americans and Afghans left behind.
This grainy night vision image captures Major General Chris Donahue of the 82nd Airborne Division as he boarded a C-17 cargo plane, the last American service member to leave Afghanistan in America's longest war. With wheels up, it was the official end to a 20-year conflict. The final troops left Kabul's airport exactly 1 minute before President Biden's deadline for withdrawal.
And the last manned aircraft is now clearing the airspace above Afghanistan.
Some Afghans marked the moment with celebrations in the street. Others fired guns in the night sky. The Taliban now have full control of the airport. This video reportedly showing the moment they walked on the tarmac. With the U.S. military out, the State Department is now in charge of helping to evacuate Afghan allies and any remaining American citizens who wish to leave. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says between 100 to 200 Americans are still in Afghanistan.
The military mission is over. A new diplomatic mission has begun.
The United States military has begun strikes.
The conflict began with President Bush's orders after the 9/11 attacks. In 20 years, nearly 2,500 American service members lost their lives, tens of thousands more injured. Among the last casualties, Marines who were too young to remember the war's start.
We honor their sacrifice today as we remember their heroic accomplishments.
The sacrifices of a long war that is now over. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
President Biden is expected to address the end of this 20-year war later this morning. A CBS News special report is scheduled for 10:30 a.m., and we will bring that to you live once it begins. Now to an update on the Cajon Valley Union School District. They're telling us there's still one more family waiting to leave Afghanistan. While visiting relatives over the summer, 6 families, including 24 students from Cajon Valley, were caught in all of this chaos. The district says 3 of the families have already made it back. 2 other families are headed back to the U.S., and 1 more is still waiting for help.
This morning, county supervisors will vote on declaring COVID misinformation a public health crisis. County Board Chair Nathan Fletcher introduced the resolution. If approved, it will devote resources to identify and label misinformation to keep it from spreading. Supervisor Jim Desmond is questioning the need for this proposal, saying today's facts regarding COVID could, quote, be tomorrow's misinformation. Now, the group Reopen San Diego is also speaking out against this proposal ahead of today's vote. They say, quote, giving the county the sole right to decide which information is correct or incorrect can lead to censorship. The group will rally outside the county administration building at 8 a.m.
We'll take a look at this here. Major traffic in South Lake Tahoe as thousands are forced to flee due to the Calder Fire. The gridlock stretched for miles yesterday. The Calder Fire has been burning for more than 2 weeks, and it has grown to 186,000 acres. It is 15% contained. And this morning, officials will determine if evacuation orders in San Diego can be lifted as they fight the Chaparral Fire. The orders were lifted for Riverside yesterday, but are still in effect in the area northwest of Fallbrook. This fire has burned 1,400 acres and is 50% contained. And this morning, all of California's national forests are closed because of this wildfire danger. They'll be shut down for 2 weeks. So that means no Labor Day camping or hiking trips. So this news potentially affecting your travel plans. The order impacts 18 forests, including the Cleveland National Forest in the Laguna Mountains.
This morning, the remnants of Hurricane Ida are moving north. Take a look. This highway washed away in Mississippi after rain from the storm. 2 people were killed, 10 others were hurt after cars fell into a giant hole. Meantime, people in Louisiana are addressing the damage from Ida. The state's levee system appears to have mostly held up against Ida, but millions of people are still without power and could be weeks before they get electricity back. Just look at all of the damage there. One San Diego native now living in New Orleans describes what she experienced. Listen.
It feels like your front door is going to blow in. Trees and things are lashing up against your house. You're hearing all these sounds. It's pitch black outside, and it just kept going all night long.
Yeah, those winds so powerful. Ida is now a tropical depression and is expected to continue to weaken as it moves northward. Back here at home, we have nothing to complain about. We've got those fires in Northern California, and then we see what's happening in New Orleans. So a little bit of rain here.
Yeah, all we have is some scattered showers. I will say, though, thunder and lightning coming in the mix, and reports of some lightning strikes off our coast along with the foothills of some of our mountain areas. So that is something, of course, you'll want to try to avoid. Not a good time to head out in the water when you hear reports of lightning near there. But this is our view from Cardiff. It does not look like that many people are out in the water right now. You see those overcast skies. Today's going to feel cooler because of this shower activity that is sweeping on through. Now, we gave you the heads up about it yesterday. I personally kept our patio furniture covered. Hopefully you've done the same, especially if you live through North County, because that's where some of that's getting a little drenched this morning. So it does appear to be light to moderate in nature for the most part, where you see the lighter green, some of the darker darker colors, but except for right there, that red that's coming through. That's a pretty decent downpour that started near Ramona, and you see this past 3-hour loop. There it goes, moving further up north. So from the 78, it just took a ride up to the 76 and the 79. So let's pause in on where it is right now, right by Lake Henshaw. Here it is along the 76 there, closer to Palomar Mountain. So these are, of course, a little less crowded communities, but certainly areas that could use some of that moisture. The problem is, though, lightning strikes are coming with that. So you're probably hearing that loud thunder as well. Let's take you now to Escondido along the 15. Jenny showed you there was some slowing down there. The road's wet right now. San Marcos, same thing. And there you go. You see it headed right for Carlsbad. So it's overall going from the east to the west. So Carlsbad, you're next in line right along the 5. Expect a few drops here momentarily. Same with the Fallbrook. It's coming your way, and Oceanside as well. So we'll watch that throughout the morning. Let's get a check on those roads now with Jenny.
Well, good morning to you. So yeah, Netta was mentioning where that rain is coming down, and that is where we're seeing a little bit of activity traffic-wise. Here it is, though. It looks pretty calm at about 10 minutes after 6 o'clock. Dry for the bulk of your county here. I just want to zoom into the south, National City area, that 805 where unfortunately we had those shootings that Chris Crow is covering. Nice and clear. I don't see any issues with your travel times. Your lanes are back open. The bridge is crash-free. Now we go to where it's a little bit busier. You know, Ned has been mentioning that the freeways are slick along the 15, the 78. Yeah, that is the case. That road weather index showing green, which means it is wet. Please use extra caution, slow down. You have to drive for those conditions. We're down to one crash on the 15 here. This is northbound side right at about Gamble Lane. Now crews are off to that right-hand shoulder. This delay is getting significantly worse here, and it does back up to well before the 78. This was an unassociated delay. But guess what? This crash is making it worse. No updates on any injuries there. Certain parts you're down to 47 miles an hour. I would say even slower, of course, as you're approaching that crash site. Everything else looking good this morning. Ignore these travel times.